So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and my adventures into Orc'dom continue with this. This is the Orc Krudger. Krudger? Krudger. He's basically one of the heroes to lead the Orc Army. Obviously a figure from Mantic. Well, not obviously. He is a figure from Mantic. He is metal. And he's a jolly nice figure too. Comes with the double-handed axe and the head. There's no variation on that, but he's a nice model nonetheless. Only issue I had was getting everything to line up with the arms under the plates underneath his shoulder blades here. I had to do a little bit of filling and a bit of bodging to get it to fit properly. He's got a lot of armor on, so I've basically base coated him and then washed him with a dark tone. Now we're going to start with him, because I need a leader for my orcs. The bad boys need some help. Okay, so here we are back with our big ugly dude. The bulk of the colours have been done. I followed the same skin tone version that I used on the orcs, so that is the plague bearer flesh, and then once that thoroughly dry, a coat of Beltan green over the top, and then I've just used the basilicum grey on. He's got armor plates down his chest. He's also got some chains down there. He's got some plates on his arms, on his shoulders rather, and some plates down his legs, and I've done all those with basilicum grey at the moment. Also just using I think this is, I can't remember which red this one is. I think it's the contrast flesh terrors red, for the sort of one bit of material he's got here. The cloak, this one I used, well, inside it I used Iraqi sand, watered down but nicely pushed in there, and then I used it to dry brush on the outside here. And then this one, I think this was Agnes Dunes or something, the contrast paint over the top, and then just picked out the skull. There's a skull here on his arm here. He's got a bandage around his hand, or some sort of wrap around his hand, so I did that with the white, and also a wrap around where the axe head is attached to the stave that it held on. And I did his teeth after I put a little bit of red on the inside. Did also put a little bit of red in his eyes. Not sure how much that will actually show up in the next stage. So he's pretty much, the bulk of him is done. Next up, I'm going to get some silver on all the armor, just to sort of bring that out a little bit more, and then once that's dry, give it a really good wash, probably with Agrax, just to make it look dirty and rusty, and then we'll be back once that's finished. So Krudger is done. So basically the same technique I've used with all the orcs so far. I've obviously put the washes on, varnished them, and then dry brushed with Iraqi sand, just to sort of deaden it down, and to make it a more earthy look, dirty look, which is what I'm looking for with these orcs, because they live in grim conditions, don't they? Retouched up the teeth a little bit. You can't quite see it, but the eyes have a little red tinge to them. I sort of debated whether to brighten them up again, but I think I'm going to leave it just subtly red, just so that you just sort of notice, oh yeah, they got red eyes. And then basing, as you saw, was done with the Luke's APS City, what's it called? City Rubble base material, and then a few sort of wizen dry grass tufts attached to the outside, and I think the effect is pretty good. I think he comes out and he looks reasonably good. I think he'll be good for leading the army. So he'll be very good for the army. And I enjoy painting them. I think all these Mantic models have been actually very good to paint up. Not overly complicated, but the effect is really nice. And this guy is a metal figure, particularly so. I do like metal figures. I think they're much easier to paint personally. They hold the paint better. So I'm pleased with the outcome. And so now I've got the Orc Axeman, the Orc Great Axeman, the Archers, the Trolls, and the God Speaker, and now this guy. So I've got the core of a pretty good army. Pretty much all the troops that were in the Kings of War Orc Mantic Army that Ken sent me are done. So now I just need to do the extras that just seem to have fallen into my basket when I was on eBay. Don't know how that happened, but they'll be next. And then we'll have a sizable orcish force to take on those dastardly dwarves. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I hope your games are going well. I hope you're having fun, and I hope you managed to get a little bit of hobby time in this mad world that we live in. And I'll see you again soon. This is Dom, signing out.